Have you ever felt like you just didn't belong anywhere? Like you weren't the cool kid, you weren't the smart kid, you weren't even the funny one. You were just kind of there, like not hated, not loved, just overlooked. That was me. I wasn't part of the popular group. I wasn't the class genius. I wasn't the class clown. I was the kid in the middle, like the one nobody really noticed. Not cool enough to stand out, not nerdy enough to fit in somewhere else, just kind of drifting, walking through the halls like a ghost. And after a while, it started to feel permanent. I thought maybe this is just who I am. Nervous, invisible, forgettable. But I'm here to tell you it doesn't have to stay that way, because I found a way out. I found a way to build confidence, and for me, it started with fitness. I'll never forget middle school gym class. Everybody's lined up at the pull-up bar. One dude's banging out 10 like he's training for the Olympics, and other kids flexing at the top like he's auditioning for a superhero movie. Even some of the girls are repping out 1 or 2. Then it was my turn. I grabbed the bar, pull, and nothing. Arms are shaking, legs kicking. I'm basically inventing a brand new workout move, just trying to get myself up there. The teacher shakes his head and says, "Nope, that doesn't count." And I just hung there, embarrassed. Everybody else was repping them out like machines, and I couldn't even do one. Now, it might sound like a small thing. Who cares about a pull-up, right? But to me, it wasn't just about strength. It was about how I already felt about myself, weak, nervous, invisible, and that pull-up bar just proved it to me in front of everyone. Maybe you've had your own version of that. Maybe it wasn't the gym, maybe it was not being picked for the team, sitting alone at lunch, or feeling like nobody noticed you in the hallway. And if you're anything like I was, you know that feeling eats at you. You start to believe it. It's just who you are. Someone who doesn't matter. Someone who doesn't belong. But here's the thing. That story doesn't have to be permanent. Mine wasn't. Alright, so fast forward a few years, July 4th, 2018, I'm 15, and we're having a big family barbecue. Family friends show up, and with them are these gorgeous women, and I'm telling you, really gorgeous. And the guys that came with, absolutely jacked. Like these dudes look like they lived at the gym. Meanwhile, I'm standing there skinny, baggy shirt on, hoping nobody notices me, and in that moment, I had this sinking thought. If I don't change, I'll always feel like this. I'll always feel invisible. So that very night, I made a decision. The very next day, I got a gym membership, and that choice changed my life. Now let me be real. At first, it wasn't about discipline or mental health or anything deep. It was about women. I wanted to look better. I wanted respect. I wanted to finally be noticed. But something happened that I didn't expect. Once I started training, I started to fall in love with it. It stopped being about anyone else, and it started being about me. The progress, the discipline, the little wins, the feeling of showing up for myself. And that's lesson number 1. Fitness is the foundation of confidence. Because when you see yourself change physically, you start to believe you can change in every area of your life. You realize you're not stuck, you're capable, you can grow. The gym taught me more than how to build muscle. It taught me discipline. It taught me patience. It taught me that even on the days I didn't want to show up, if I pushed through, I always left better than I came in. And that bled into every part of my life. I ate better, I slept better, I carried myself differently. Even before I looked at any different, I felt different because I was proving to myself that I could stick with something. That's the real confidence fitness gives you. Not just looking good in the mirror, but knowing deep down, I'm someone who can show up and put in the work. But fitness was just the beginning. Another part of my confidence came from pushing myself socially. In high school, I started making little prank videos, interviews, going up to strangers, sometimes even approaching women just to practice talking. And at first, I was terrified. My chest would get tight, my voice would crack. I'd want to run the other way, but I kept doing it. And that's when I found one of the biggest confident hacks I've ever used, the 3-second rule. Whenever I wanted to do something scary, whether it was talking to someone, starting a video, or raising my hand in class, I wouldn't let myself overthink. I'd count 1, 2, 3, and go. And every time I pushed through that fear, it lost a little bit of its power. The more I acted, the more confident I became. Fitness gave me the foundation. Action gave me the courage. Now that's lesson number 2, is action kills fear. You don't think your way into confidence, you act your way into it. Most of us sit in our heads all day, imagining everything that could go wrong. But the second you move, the second you push through, you realize it's never as bad as you thought. And once you prove that to yourself enough times, your fear loses its grip. Alright, and the final lesson is your identity isn't fixed. For years I told myself, I'm just a nervous kid, I'm just invisible. That's who I am. But once I started training, once I started pushing myself socially, once I started showing up consistently, I rewrote that story. I wasn't invisible anymore. I wasn't just a kid in the middle. I was becoming someone new, someone confident, someone I actually respected. And if I can change my identity, so can you. So if you're watching this and you feel invisible right now, trust me, I know exactly how you feel. I've been there. I was the kid who couldn't do a pull-up, the kid who wore a shirt at the pool because he hated how he looked, the kid who was nervous all the time walking around like nobody saw him. But invisible isn't permanent, nervous isn't permanent, weak isn't permanent. Confidence isn't something you're born with, it's something you build. And for me, fitness was the fuel that started it all. The gym gave me discipline, discipline gave me courage, and the courage gave me confidence. And if I can make that shift, so can you. One rep, one habit, one action at a time. So if this story hit home for you, subscribe to the channel because this isn't about me preaching from the top, it's about us building together. This is just a start, and trust me, the view gets better the higher you go.